Often I really hear many things about book recommendations. And these days in many platforms, YouTube, Instagram, wherever, there are people, there are influencers who are really doing a great job by recommending their favorite books and teaching those students who are really eager to learn about what's there in that book and why to read. Because books are something that are very dear to many people. And books are something that are something very precious. I mean, I cannot compare the value of book to something else. That is the value that a book creates to a reader when he really likes and loves that book. And I really feel very sad when I give my book to someone else. It's because the bond, the value that has attached me with the book is something else. So today in this video, I'm going to talk about one such book that really changed the way I really think. Not in terms of doing anything, but in terms of doing the right process for the work. I mean, at the end of the day, it's how you work, it's your style, it's your talent. But thing is, how you make up the process of working is most important. And this book really has that capacity. And this book is also recommended to me by one of my virtual mentors through YouTube. His name is Ankur Bariku. He's an entrepreneur by profession and teacher by passion. He makes students love with all these subjects, all the fascinations, all the ideas and the methodologies of how to grow and how to influence. And he is one such person who has guided me to read this book. Not personally, but through YouTube video. And as soon as he recommended that book, I purchased it right away. So let's start this video with a formal introduction. It's not going to be too long. Watch it completely and you get a better insight. Hello people, this is Harsha. Welcome to my channel. I make videos on education, career, lifestyle and most importantly learning. My long-term vision is to expand the curiosity and consciousness in the field of education so that we all can become the change makers of the country. So the book which I'm going to talk is about rework. It's through a selfie made camera, that is why you don't see it properly, but it's rework. And today I'm going to talk about three most important things that I have learned in rework so that you can also learn by not reading it. But I really recommend you to read it first, then only you can learn it way better than what anyone else can, because learning is something that goes day by day, on and on, 24 hours 7, right? So let's start this. Rework is actually written by Jason Fried and David Heinemeier Hansen. So these two authors has done a fantastic, a tremendous job about around 260 odd pages book with complete crisp information that changes your whole perception about doing a work. It really means about the title, rework. And there is a quote like, if you really ignore a book that really changes your life, then you do nothing for your good. Like, you cannot change until you find your right book. There is a right teacher, there is a right person, there is a right book as well. I don't say other books are wrong for you, but there is a book that really attaches with you, that really stays connected with you. Whenever you apply your information, whenever you do any work, that comes into picture, which changes the perception. So that is most important, so that you should have a clarity, you should have a factual information about what you're doing. So that is why I recommend that everybody should have a right book in themselves. Everybody should have the process of picking a book and reading the book and understanding and framing into a right process of the book. So in this rework particularly, I've got to mention three important points. And first point is that the author talks about ignore the real world. He says about you don't need to worry about what the world is caring. I mean, there are people who are beside you, who are friend, who are back, who are competing with you, who are not competing with you, who are along with you, who are enemies with you. There are all sorts of people in this world, and this world is going to talk about you every single time when you make a mission statement. When you say something, oh, the world says, oh, you cannot do it because it's not impossible. Because it is just that they didn't do. It's not just, it's not impossible, but thing is they didn't do and they don't want you also to do. That's a different story because of all such things, man gets completely discouraged. But that's not the case. You have to ignore the world that people are seeing. You have to open the third eye vision. You have to open the vision that people aren't seeing. When people are going for A, B, C jobs, you have to go search for X, Y, Z, and so that you can learn way better than what the other peers are doing. So you have to first understand the fact that you really have to ignore what the world is saying just to make a statement. If there is a point, you have to listen. If there is no point and just there is a criticism over nothing, then you have to really ignore and move forward. Right? This is one of the most beneficial things I have ever learned these days. Like, everybody in the social media are making their turnarounds, and everybody is going to the conventional platforms to unconventional platforms. And in these days, in this virtual setups where we get a lot of criticism, where we get a lot of hindsight about criticisms, we have to really forget the fact that this is not we are searching for. We are searching for a better place. We are searching for a solitude where there is a complete place to fulfill our vision. So that is our main duty. You should ignore what the world is saying. That is first thing. And the second thing, planning is really a typical guessing, right? There are many people, individuals, entrepreneurs, employees, anyone you take. The first thing they do when they start to do a work is a long-term plan. For example, if I take a student, like when he joins some course, when he joins a technical course, what he makes is a timetable that is not at all set by his routine. He makes a timetable that he knows that he doesn't follow, but he still makes a timetable just to fulfill the fact that he's planning some sort of things. But thing is, you should never try to plan for something that you don't know. Like, you should really plan, but thing is, we don't plan the way we should really plan. We plan in such a way that, yeah, today my timetable is 6 to 8 this, and next 10 days my 6 to 8 is this. So how now you really know that next 10 days your 6 to 8 is the particular thing which you have written right now? How do you really estimate? It's just a guessing. Who knows that there is an emergency for your 6 to 8 work, maybe you stop working that. It's not the case. Planning is really a typical guessing, and you don't need to regret about your plans that are really failed, because those are not that are going to help you. Those are just a fulfillment of that you're really interested to really work. Planning is something that you should really don't give that highest priority, but you should give that priority on a limited basis. You should really plan on a very, very stipulated basis, for a day, for next 2 days, for next 1 week, but not for a long-term horizon where you cannot estimate what's happening, right? You cannot take granted that every company which makes a 2-year plan, 3-year plan fulfills it for the 100%. No, it doesn't. It really takes a lot of time and lot of hard work to estimate it fully, and again to fulfill the estimation is really another great task and really hefty task. I mean, there's a lot of mass production in terms of employees for that plans fulfillment, which is a really huge fixed cost. So ignore all such things and focus on working for the right moment at the right time, the right task. That's most important, not the long-term planning. Long-term planning is your vision. You should work along the lines of vision, but don't plan how you're doing that vision right now. Okay, that's important thing. And another thing, don't estimate the power of growth. This is phenomenal. This point is really phenomenal. Why I really say this? So let's take Indian stock market. When we talk about Indian stock market, the listed companies in Nifty, listed companies in Sensex, we rate it as the biggest companies in this country, right? For example, let's take Reliance Industries. It's having one of the largest market capitalization. So we rate it as the biggest valued company in this country. But has it anything to do with a company which has a smaller valuation? Definitely not. That is most important. We often compare the growth with the size of employees. We often compare the growth with the size of numbers. the valuations, the quantifications, that's not the real growth. The growth is how much effective productivity are you getting, how much satisfied your customers are, how much growth your company is earning year on year in terms of comparison with the other peers. Having said that, you really having that lower valuations with less employees, with less staff, everything. When you are succeeding in that level, you're automatically going far ahead. See, don't hurry in this growth race where in the next 5 years I will make it $1 billion company, I would make it $1 trillion company. See, these valuations will help you to become competitive, quantified growth people. Like, you always work for that number coming. It's not the case. You have to work for that vision that is happening behind the screens. You have to talk about the manifestations that you are doing for that customers that are really impressing with your product. You have to really talk about how you are serving this humanity, how you are helping this country or the world or the nature in a better way. You have to teach the people. You have to encourage your competitors, because no competitor will encourage another competitor. But yes, you have to understand the limit of encouragement. You have to know when to overcome this. You have to understand when to move ahead, when to impress this competitor, and you have to really be that teacher who stays at the top. Because no competitor will teach anything that maybe he can be in a fear that his product development, his product secrets can be known, but you always know that it's a trade secret. You may reveal it, but no one's going to implement it. If they are going to implement it, everybody should have become a Bill Gates, or everybody should have become a Warren Buffett. But no, you should really be happy when you are teaching your product development to all the peers, all the customers. That's how the growth is really there, not by quantified valuations. It's of course a part, but not the complete thing. Be slow, be very grateful that you are slow, be grateful that you are unknown, because you have got lot of time, you have got lot of credibility with your product right now. You're the young star in this complete galaxy, so that you can really shine big. So that when you are in terms of popularity, you just know only 100 customers or 1000 customers, you can really make that mistakes. But when you are really big, just like a Reliance company, when you make a mistake, it's completely known to everyone. You cannot hide. There's a problem. So be ready, be happy to be slow in your growth, but don't expect that will turn around in an overnight. This because overnight is a myth. There's nothing like overnight success. It's a small parcels of growth that is accumulating, and one night everybody will acknowledge as overnight growth, and people will charm you as their hero, as their god. That's how it happens. So one must really understand this process, because everything in this world is attached to your process of doing work. You're recognized on the basis of how you're working, because everybody does a job. It's not the job that makes you recognizable. It's the way you implement the job in a better way. It's the way you implement a work in a better way, so that the humanity gets a better life, a better growth, a better period of existence. That's most important. So this book, Rework, will really change your life if you read it completely. And thanks to Mr. Ankur Wariku, he really motivated this people over YouTube platform to read this book, and I really bought it in the first instance when I heard his statement about this book, that he told that he almost recommended this book to every founder, that he really think that the person deserves it. So I really feel that you also deserve it, and you should read it, so that your mindset gets some stability, your mindset gets some clarity. That's most important. So thanks for watching this complete video, and if you are liking this video, please do like it, share it, and subscribe to my channel, and please hit the bell icon so that you get updated every time and then. And of course, every Sunday you will be getting this video, and I'm sure you're liking this. And thank you for watching again. Lots of love. See you. Bye bye.